Okay, just a quickie. Before lunch, we said probably going to frustrate both sides this morning. That the late longs, the aggressive late longs, think they could just close their eyes and buy the high. Didn't make sense. So either stand aside or short, play for the half gap and gap. And then we said that good possibility, if we got lucky, we would come back test the 56 to 55. So I believe that the boys are masters at keeping us off balance. And we'd said originally that, okay, we don't want to see it above that 55 to 56 area. If it does, it signifies that then we're going to be testing the top of the zone. And this is one of their favorite tricks, is to do that late in the day. They do the W breakout and just goose it overnight when they can get to their targets much more easily. And then today, we're looking for the W, but not necessarily that it has to break out again today. But if you're looking to buy and at least get into the rhythm of that, you're better off buying a pullback than you are trying to buy the highs. And that's part of what I've tried to do to keep us honest with this formation. And formation is to understand patterns. And clearly this was a winning pattern that just took off. And like we said, need to test that 62.5 to 64 area. So we've got our numbers. We've got the idea of what's going on right now. And anybody that bought the double here, we don't have to take out the high. So we should be looking to make sure that you get something out of today's push. And a reminder that though we've got higher targets, they don't have, today is backing and filling and pause. The pause that refreshes, that's what's going on right now, in my opinion. We were overdone. We've come back into support area, test that basis the 60-minute chart. And we've had some pretty good swings in the last few days. So when we're overdone, we've gone from, one extreme to another. So keep in mind that when we do that, sometimes we need time to pause and consolidate. And that's my belief of what's going on right now, is we are consolidating. We've already had morning after trend day, and that happened overnight. So now the key is, can the boys continue that run? And if you have interest in buying, then the very best time to buy it is when we come back to do that retest. And then hope that you're right and take something out of it. The 60 chart is a beautiful illustration of coming back into that first support right here. You just cannot overemphasize the importance of these type of ideas. They repeat over and over. We see them, retest, breakouts. Our friend Bruce asked yesterday, well, I think, we definitely won't get above that. So he knows something that most traders don't know. But my guess is so do we. We already had an idea of where that next resistance zone was likely to stall. And then the retest comes back in and retests the breakout area right in here. So you want to keep track of those ideas because they repeat over and over. And if you're going to buy, then you want to buy with not only a 5-minute chart, but something like this 60 showing support as well. At least gives you an edge to know that you have a big boy and your smaller chart in play. And the process of distribution takes time. So everybody that wanted the short side yesterday is now trying to buy the highs. You can't buy the highs. There's no edge buying this. When we get this thrust late day that just screams up, there's no edge. Here's morning after trend day right here, after hours. Already happened. And then we get the backing and filling. So as a trader, the most important thing that we can do is, when we're wrong, take our stop outs. There were traders here that got caught yesterday trying to short. And those traders are still on the hook until we penetrate backwards. And that's where squeezes come from. So yesterday's double, this W right in here, followed a pretty nice pattern, actually, if you look at it. You know, this was that extension. And then we've moved up. We've taken out this gap. Previously, this area was a resistance, and now it's become support for today. First time back to it. Just keep it simple. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. And when your timing charts are right on, then you either take the trade and hope you're right, or you pass and say, well, I don't want the risk. I don't like the timing, whatever. But this is where our edges come from. That's bought this 56. Remember, our target is 61, 61 and a quarter. If we can get there, and then anything above that is the juice. Nice trade. And today, let's see, almost 12 o'clock, lunchtime, we may get some chop. Yesterday we had the W. Today I'm not as convinced that we're going to just repeat yesterday's pattern. So we're playing hit and run. And anybody that likes the long side today, a reminder, we don't have to hold this low, but this was the first opportunity to take a long side scalp. Keep an eye on the green line over here. That's helped us today as well. All right, lunchtime is coming up. A reasonable morning. We said looking to buy that 65, 66 for scalp long to align with the trend.